So this is day 33, and I wanted to go over the two things that we've done so far. So we're learning about API application, where you can use the requests module to send a HTTP request to a specific web address. This one is a API that tracks the ISS, which is the International Space Station. It is a URL that gives a JSON formatted longitude and latitude of the space station at any given time. What we've done here is we've printed the response to see what it is, and then we've done two status code checks. So for HTTP and HTTPS, there are codes. 200 means okay, 302 means not modified, and 400 and above usually means something's gone wrong with either your connection or the server's connection. So what we want to do is be able to say, hey, if it's not an okay 200, that means that there's something wrong with the endpoint. So when it is okay, we take the response in the JSON format, and we set it to two values that we want to print out, right? The position and the longitude and the latitude. So first we save it, all the data that's part of the JSON within the ISS position, and we want to save the longitude and the latitude. So if we print this, let's try that again. You can see it sends the request, thinks about it, and then prints out this is the current longitude and latitude. This is the second part. So what we've done here is we're using tk-enter. We are using requests and we're using JSON. So we've created this function that gets a quote from the API Kanye.rest API. It checks for the status. It will print it out if it's not 200, or it will raise the exception. Then the response JSON is assigned to the data variable, and we just want the quote. So we take the quote, and then we assign it to our canvas item and replace the text. As you can see, there's a window here with the title Kanye Says with padding. It has a width of 300 by 414. It calls a Kanye picture. It creates a canvas with the background image, and then it creates an object that has a quote where it creates text. It is then goes on top of the canvas because it renders in order of appearance, and then it puts it in the center of the grid. It then takes Kanye image, which is a picture of his head, and then creates a button out of that image, and each time it gets pressed, there's a quote. So if we play this on this, you'll be able to see now, here is our image, and you can see the gray edges that makes this a button. And each time this gets pressed, a new quote is being called from the external API. So for the final project, they give us some data where the longitude and latitude is. I've added the email information so that I can send myself an email. It grabs a response from the ISS. It captures the longitude and latitude. And then with the parameters that we've gotten from longitude and latitude, it sends a parameterized request to the API sunset. So the parameters are passed along with a question mark and ampersand between each pair. It checks for the status, and then we split the data that comes in because it's not in the right format that we want. We just want the hour that the time is sunrise, right? So we take now, we say, hey, is it true that it's dark, and is it overhead? So we need two conditions in order to send ourselves an email. We need to know when the longitude and latitude is above our current longitude and latitude plus or minus a couple of degrees, and then we need to know where, if it's dark or not. So we have this running all the time, and it checks, is it overhead and is it dark? If so, send us an email and then close the connection. That's it.